Three, two, one, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Force podcast, a podcast from three Puerto Rican friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd related media. This is season 1, episode 12. Title pending. Our creativeness is, going on a thin line. So give us a
It's been
sec
it's
to
been
figure out
it's
the
been a
title.
couple rough weeks for creativeness. That's for sure.
And this past weekend, I think was a little hard on me and Mo being on two other podcasts past our bedtime, and you know
Which
it,
was which was
Back
amazing
to
though.
back to back.
it was amazing, but I'm just like exhausted. I think by the time it was our turn to do our podcast, we had run out of words,
I
or we
agree.
just like been saying the same ones over and over at this point. But
This is true.
regardless, check it out.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, we do our Mando Mondays reaction analysis of season 2 of The Mandalorian, aside from our regularly scheduled program. So if you haven't
Mhm.
checked it out, please do. And today, I think because our episode is going to release the day before Thanksgiving, we kind of wanted to be a little bit more lighthearted and, talk about the Lego Star Wars movie, something sweet, keep it short probably. And yeah.
And
And it was
festive.
festive. And it was really fun, I thought. What did you guys think of the movie?
Uh, it was not my cup of tea.
Really?
I was
Not at
actually, I
all?
was actually, I was actually very, very excited for it for some reason.
Okay.
At first, I was skeptical, like when I heard that they were doing a new holiday special, because
Mhm.
obviously that has a lot of baggage. Even though, like, I
Yeah,
will admit,
history.
I have never seen the original holiday special. I've tried, I've tried,
I'm
I've
with you.
tried,
I've tried. I've either
but
falling asleep or I'm
Jesus
just like,
Christ,
this is too much. I cannot take
it's
this.
just, it's just you can tell that George Lucas sold his soul. Uh, so whatever. But then I saw the Lego one. I was like, okay,
Lego does some pretty
Lego,
cool stuff.
Lego does pretty
Yeah.
cool stuff. Let's see. And
Mhm.
it's like post episode 9. So we'll get some little interesting tidbits of, see where the story's going. Uh, and like, thanks to work, COVID and working from home, one of the advantages is that I don't have to wait for, to get back home from work to watch any new Star Wars content. I can just
Like,
wake up and play.
Yeah.
So
He always texts us at like 8 in the morning. Like, have you watched the Mando episode yet? It's like, dude, no.
not yet.
Not yet.
yes, that's the first thing I do. Like I shower,
Yeah.
I wake up, shower, brush my teeth, boom, Mando, or in this case, the Lego Holiday Special.
Wow.
And it didn't disappoint me in the sense that like I was expecting something different. It's just that it wasn't tailored for my particular taste. I mean, it was fun, but like it wasn't. It's like Resistance. That it's a show that's not meant for me, type
Okay.
of thing. Not that it's bad, it's just not for me. And I'm glad that
Mhm.
everyone's been enjoying it actually, because I've been seeing on Twitter that it's been getting good reviews and people are enjoying it. So I think that's the most important part. How about you
Mhm.
guys?
What did you
Well,
think, Mo?
I I guess well, before what I think, I wanted to ask, how canon do you guys think this is?
I I think it's canon-ish,
Yeah.
But
like the
is that
broad
confirmed,
strokes.
or is that just because it did present a lot of interesting stuff that could happen down the line?
So the world between worlds without calling it the world between worlds type of thing.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think it's a well, we'll get into it in the meat of the discussion. But I think it raises more problems than creating cool opportunities, frankly. Like the way like
okay.
she's intervening directly in those events is just like, wait, what? It's kind of the opposite of what like Ezra and Kanan, talked about for like the world between worlds, where Kanan says like, no, don't change the past, just be an observer. So
But
I
but
don't know.
but
I think it's
it's
problematic.
it's problematic, but it's interesting. I think it I think they're testing the waters
Mhm.
to see
Maybe.
what they can or can't do, and what better way to test them than with a Lego movie,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah,
since it's like lighthearted. It does have
yeah.
that
Mhm.
history of like, well, the first one was just
Hmm.
completely weird
Mess.
Yeah,
mess.
and often reviewed as one of the worst things ever made.
I,
So,
I
Yeah,
I I I honestly cannot, like,
it's
I've
definitely
sat.
worse than the Rise of Skywalker. I'll give episode 9 that much credit. It's just like,
but
yeah,
it's better than the holiday
you
special,
did
the
better in the
original.
holiday special.
That is just terrible.
But it was all around fun, honestly.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it was short enough that you can just watch it like taking a lunch or like you said
Hmm.
to grain breakfast or a coffee. I think it's a great thing. I don't know. It's to me, it might replace kind of like having like Home Alone in the background during Christmas. I might just have this
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
just, just because it was so fun. It's humorous. I think I don't know. I love the stupid jokes. Kind of like I love when
Well, that's the
what
Lego.
what what
Yeah.
Yeah.
when Ray was like to BB-8, oh, you can say that again, and then BB-8 just does the same stupid sound back to her.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's so
Yeah.
cheesy, but
I like when Ray kind of fell into like the swamp or whatever, and then her hair
yeah.
Hair,
fell off,
And
yeah.
and
then
she
and
Oh,
just
then
and
has
she
to
had
put
to
her
shake
hair
it
back
up.
on.
so it's almost like
Hmm.
I like that freedom that
Mm.
the Lego
Hmm.
gives.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how massive the Lego movies were. Like it's a whole that's a market in itself.
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I think it started
Yeah, it's
with
not
like the
just a Lego movie.
no no it's not just like it's the video games. It's
There's a lot
like
of stuff.
a
Lego
lot of
Batman. I
yeah.
love Lego Batman.
I love
And apparently those Lego Star Wars games, apparently they're the bee's knees. Like
Yeah, I have heard they're
reviews
good.
and
I haven't played
people
any,
love
but
them.
yeah.
I haven't played the Star Wars. I've played the Jurassic World one, and it's
Hmm.
amazing. Like
Really?
because you start with it's a Jurassic World, but you start
Hmm.
at Jurassic Park.
That's cool.
So you go through the whole story with Lego
Mm,
wise, and then eventually, yeah, you end up in Jurassic World, and it's super
interesting.
That's
fun.
actually sounds
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah, it is really cool. Like you get to
And
play
obviously
as
it's oh my god, irreverent.
yes, oh, absolutely. Like I think
I was like,
they I think that's what I like about the Legos. It's that they don't intentionally break the fourth wall, but they are aware that they're
That
just
it's there. Yeah.
it's just that we're just Legos and
Yeah.
and they lovingly make fun of the source material.
yeah,
Yes. Hmm.
It's just like, hey,
which
we're
is the
gonna
best
poke
thing.
fun, but it's in good fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
and I
I.
think that's the
Mhm.
lesson. Like we
Yeah.
have to like it's been a tough year, 2020. So just having this
Understand.
like lighthearted
Yeah.
fun.
And sweet, and
Yeah,
with a
as
moral lesson, and
yeah, like it's lively. So
yeah, it's a cute little addition to the Star Wars universe. And going back to your point, Mo, I think it works either way. If you want it to be canon, like there's some problems
yeah,
with it, but it works. If you kind of want to ignore it and take it as something apart, it works that way too. So I don't think it needs to be taken one way or the other. I
Mhm.
think it's really cool, especially because Goose, you're not the audience. Probably it's like 8-year-olds are the true
Which
audience,
is great.
which is
eight,
great.
8 years old at heart.
80, yeah,
Exactly.
8-year-olds at heart. And maybe some kids this is the first thing they've ever seen on
Yes.
Star Wars, and it's a very good like greatest hits Star Wars scene. So maybe
Mhm.
they would start asking about like, oh, where does that come from? And then you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
start
yeah,
them in on like
exactly.
A New Hope or whatever. So I think it's a good intro, for kids and stuff. And
Yeah,
obviously
I
for us,
agree.
'cause I thought it was cute because it definitely has its moments. Sometimes it's just like it is too kiddie, but other times be like, that was funny, that was good, and
Yeah.
you're done and you're like, oh, that was sweet. I'm in a good mood.
Mhm.
So
No,
And
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and that's the beauty. Like you have to
mhm.
remember, like at least I remember when I was a kid, I would watch a movie 1,000 times, and
Yes.
and now I'm thinking, I pity my parents that they had to.
Watch it with you, like, oh my god, here we go again.
So I think it's a rewatchable movie in the sense that
Mhm.
like if you
Yeah.
have kids, you just want to put something that's nice, wholesome, and like in the
Mhm.
background. I think it
Mhm.
works perfectly,
Mhm. And with some characters that we love.
and with some characters that we all love.
Hmm.
And I guess it kind of confirmed that Finn is
Yeah.
going for the Jedi, so
Oh
I
yeah,
like that.
I did like that. That was like, okay, he's force sensitive. Like finally answering that
Yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous question from episode 9. It's just like, why would you set this question up and not answer it?
Yeah. And never
So it's kind
answer
of like,
it.
yes, he's force sensitive.
And
Here we
then
go.
you have to wait till the Lego Christmas holiday
right.
special, for
Exactly.
it to be determined that yes, he is force sensitive and he will be training as a Jedi. I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
kind of, but it was good and it was cool to see Ray's yellow lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
So
Which
you know,
She should have just had it from like
The
double bladed
yellow
yellow
one.
lightsaber.
Yeah, I know. It's very Ahsoka.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but
It's beautiful.
whatever. We're
Beautiful.
talking about the holiday special, not episode
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
I have to.
So
I have to.
anyway,
It's been a
so
year
but
almost.
it's been a year. It's been a year. I
But
thought it was
but I
super
think
cute
it
that.
follows.
What? Sorry, Mo.
Oh no, I was gonna like like it follows up fairly well. The end of
Yeah.
episode 9, like
Hmm.
I
I
think
felt like it kind of ignored episode 9 for in a while. I think it was kind of more episode Last Jedi centric, where a lot of the things that were happening, especially with
True.
Kylo Ren and whatnot, were like
Hmm.
very Last Jedi.
Last
Because I
Jedi.
think from Rise of Skywalker, they only showed like one scene when they fall through the portal from the Star Destroyer fleet in Exegol, and that's
Yeah,
it.
Okay,
that's it. I
That's
think
the
that's
only,
all you get from Return.
that's the only thing you get
That's the only
from
you get.
Rise of Skywalker.
There's no mention like they called Darth Vader Grandpa by Kylo, but Palpatine's never called, or recognized as Rey's grandfather either. So
Exactly.
it's kind of like, we're acknowledging that it happened, but we're kind of ignoring it. Like the certain things that we like. We like that there's a yellow lightsaber. We like that, post this probably Finn will get trained.
Mhm.
But other stuff they kind of were like screw it.
Yes.
what was it? Was it Poe the one that was wearing the BB-8 sweater?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so cute.
I love.
Poe
that
was the best one. Yeah.
Poe was the best. And I think he transferred that. I don't know if there's something that translates outside of Puerto Rico, but I think probably Latinos and like Christmas is a big thing, like holidays is a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So it kind of portrayed that. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Everybody stop down! Like, this is the most important thing. It's life."
And he's like super excited
Yeah.
and crying in every corner. I did feel like that. It's like in Puerto Rico. It's like we have to decorate everything. There has to be lights everywhere and presents. And if the party fails, we all fail.
We all fail.
And for everyone that's watching that is not Puerto Rican, just so you know, Puerto Rico Christmas started maybe 3 months ago, and it keeps going until like February. We have the longest Christmases in the world, so like we know
that is
we
a
know what we're
fact.
talking about.
That is a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved also that they had Rose come along because
Yes.
Rose, I
I
think,
thought
is one
she
of
was
those.
gonna have a bigger role though.
I thought she was too, but just having her was kind of a positive for me because they've been mostly ignoring Rose.
Yes,
So-
sadly.
Yes.
So it was still nice to
unfortunately.
see her, I guess.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Although I also still love that for some reason in both movies, Life Day is surrounded about Chewie's. Like Chewie has to like it's all about Chewie's family.
Yeah, well, because Life Day, technically, from my Wikipedia research, Life Day is a Wookiee holiday that
Really?
other cultures and races have kind of adopted, but it's
Mhm.
Okay.
it's primarily a Wookiee cultural holiday.
That sounds right about their alley.
Yeah.
Because they have the big ass trees and stuff, so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense.
No, and it was kind of awesome. What do Wookiees like the most? Well, ripping people's arms off, but parties.
That's number one.
No, yeah.
But ripping arms is number one.
Yeah.
Although you think about it, Chewbacca's kind of like a deadbeat dad because every time like it's been confirmed that he has a son, and the son has been recanonized, not just by the holiday special, but I think the Aftermath books canonized his family again. So like Chewbacca has been with Han for like I don't know how many decades, and he just doesn't go visit
Hang out
his
with his
son.
kid.
It's not. Yeah.
Does he
not-
send
not-
him a check at least? It's like every month.
I hope. I don't know.
He sees him
That's-
once a year for Life Day. That's not cool.
Well, I think maybe he learned a lot from Han. You know, they
Oh, absentee dads. No,
Yeah.
that is
Ouch.
a negative Life Day message right there.
Yeah, it's like a dark
But it's
turn.
good to point out.
That's good to
Yeah.
point
But-
out. I hadn't really thought about it.
I mean, well, I mean, then again, we don't know what Chewie does most of the year.
Yeah.
Chewie could just be at home, and then it's like, oh wait,
Han would
calling
call
me.
for an
I
adventure.
will call it. Let's just hang out.
And something that I was thinking about now is because we see that Rey is in Luke's X-wing, so she stole someone else's ship. It's fine because no one else is gonna use that X-wing. But like, does that mean then that the Falcon is back in the rightful hands of Chewbacca?
Hands of Chewbacca. That is a good
Because
question.
like
No,
I think he deserves that ship. That's his.
Yeah.
He's been the co-pilot long enough. He needs to sit on that pilot seat.
I don't.
And if Ray's on the X-wing, it means that maybe Chewie finally is just the captain
maybe.
of the Millennium Falcon.
Although, if I can see Ray totally having a Millennium Falcon and an X-wing. It's like, it's a short trip. I'm gonna use the X-wing. If it's like, I'm gonna
Damn,
bring
fancy.
the. Well, hey, she's the last Jedi.
And I don't think
Well,
Chewie really ever demonstrated any need to be the actual lead pilot of
well,
the Millennium
it's not
Falcon. I mean, I don't know.
it's not that but he should. He's gone through some things from that ship just to have it taken away from him.
Yeah, that's true.
True, true.
I
Well,
did feel though that the going back to like the special itself, that it was a little too original trilogy heavy. I felt like they could have
mm,
done a little more prequel trilogy stuff. Felt like the prequel trilogies were like, okay, here we go we're gonna go here for a couple minutes, and then everything else is just gonna be Return of the Jedi.
yeah, I think it was mostly original trilogy, but I think the original trilogy really has some of the most memorable scenes. So when it's something that is this short, I think
Yeah.
maybe it is the right idea to do it. I mean, we even got the Mandalorian for like a little second.
Yeah. You
How
could tell
awesome
that
was that? I was
you-
not expected for that to happen.
I feel like that was one of a last minute thing. They're like, okay, Lucasfilm told us we can use them. Let's just add that scene real quick and
Let's
just
just
have
add
the
it.
child so we can capitalize on the Mandalorian madness right now.
But it was so great because as soon as they fall through, you can hear the soundtrack. And then Baby Yoda starts mumbling whatever, and Darth Vader's the one who's like, "Oh, cute!"
so
and then they
cute.
fall, and they don't even stop; they just keep shooting at each other. And
Yeah.
he's there with like IG-11, and I thought it was great.
IG-11.
Mhm.
May
Rest
he
in
rest in
peace.
peace.
Uh,
Taika Waititi.
Oh,
I honestly thought that they were gonna like not bring back IG-11. I thought they would do like, here's IG-22, with
IG-22.
with the memory banks that survived the explosion from IG-11 or some shit. I don't know. I thought they were gonna pull that one, but
I think that would have been really cool, actually. But
yeah.
it's like
But
well.
resurrection, but not really.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll see IG-22 down in Mando at some point.
Like we've said before, these characters do not die; they keep coming back. So there's
No
always a
one's ever really
possibility.
gone.
Yes. Well, anyway, getting back to the special. So we are confronted with like the main issue is that Rey is finding herself unable to teach Finn how to be a Jedi, and she becomes frustrated, and she just keeps like poring over the Jedi books, and it just doesn't work until she gets, this one of the books falls over when she uses the Force, and it tells her to go in the chase. What's that? A key
It's
to
like
the past or something?
The key to the past
The
or
key
something.
to the past. So you can.
Well, it's like something made up too.
It's something completely made up. I know.
It was like plot device.
Yeah. And then when she finds the key and she goes all like Doctor Strange on it, like opening portals.
Oh yeah, I totally noticed that. Yes.
And it was so Doctor Strange.
Yes. I was like, yes, they totally did it.
And so then we get, some Star Wars greatest hits. The first one being Dagobah with Yoda and Luke.
Yeah.
And she's like so excited. It's like, oh my god, it's Master Skywalker. And it's not one of Luke's best moments.
No, it is. Well, it is his best moment in the sense that it's his biggest learning experience in the Empire Strikes Back, but definitely not his most powerful.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even
it's the
get
right
to see it because
she doesn't get
snake,
to see it.
the snake monster eats BB-8 or some shit.
Yeah. I don't remember where they go next.
I think they just go like, they go.
Oh, they do Phantom Menace.
They go to the trench run first, I think.
No, I think the trench run's later. Well, anyway, they do the trench one eventually, and then the trench one, she actually falls on Luke's lap, like inside of the X-wing, and it's very like as soon as she hears the voice, like Obi-Wan, and Luke is so confused, and The problem with that one is that I see her like directly interfere
Ex-
with the
ex-
scene, because in the other ones,
yes,
yeah, there
exactly.
she's like directly
That's my point.
interfering with. Yeah,
Yes.
but you do see at one point you do see Phantom Menace with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon
Trade
be like,
disputes.
I'm so bored. Which I think is how we felt the first time we saw Phantom Menace, and all this like talk of politics and everything when we were kids. And Obi-Wan's reaction was just like,
Everyone's reaction.
this is so boring. And Qui-Gon's like, we don't always have to go for an adventure. And then they get, the smoking, and it's like, now this is what I'm talking about. And I love that they drew like the little braid, Padawan braid on the side. There were some good details.
Yeah.
No, Lego's
I
very
think
good.
they
It's
did
very
a
good
lot
with
of-
that.
And
They,
then I
like,
think
didn't
you
miss.
you jump to like Anakin and Obi-Wan, like right at the beginning of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
On the elevator, he's like, I'm totally focused with this like huge bouquet of flowers. Like, I'm not hitting on Padme at all.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah, and then
No,
she's
but
like,
what
oh,
was
they
it?
did.
What was it? What was it that she said? Like, oh, it's my master. It's my master's master. It's my master's father.
Father's master.
It's like, oh my god, that's a tongue twister right there. I can't even.
That was a
say
tongue twister. I know. It was so good. And then where else does she go?
No, she goes into the fight on Mustafar. But
No,
she's
at this
fighting
point,
Kylo-
she's picked up more people. Because at
Well,
one point,
yeah.
like everywhere they go, they start like picking up more and more
Yeah,
people
yeah.
along the way. So, no, I think where she goes is Return of the Jedi with Palpatine talking
Mhm.
to Darth Vader
Luke.
about getting Luke.
Oh, right.
And
right,
then she
right.
goes to leave, but the circle stays open, and Palpatine and Darth Vader,
Vader
notice.
follows
So
her.
Vader follows her, and
Into
she's all
Hoth.
like,
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it would have been terrible if somebody followed. Uh-oh. And he
Yeah.
followed him. Yeah. And then, they go to Hoth, and then you get the Darth
Vader
Saber
versus
from
Vader.
Hoth.
Vader versus Vader.
But wasn't that impressive?
Most impressive.
impressive.
You are me.
And the trooper's like,
Which one?
buttons, head,
What
what's
does
the
that mean?
protocol here? I think they're the same guy. What are we supposed to do? I thought that was great.
Do we follow this guy's order?
Yeah.
It definitely has some good moments. I like when he gets the Emperor the mug as Emperor in the Galaxy, but then he ties it into Disney World. It's like, oh, I have to look all over Batu to
Yeah.
get this, and I'm like, see what you did there.
Yeah.
Gotta make that synergy with with all your properties.
Claro. ¿Qué vas a hacer? But I thought it was so like Palpatine's just like, Emperor's greatest. Galaxy's greatest emperor. I'm the only
I'm
emperor.
the only Emperor.
This is crap. I do not like this present. Just like so mean.
Mean.
And Vader was
I
like
felt-
really
yeah.
excited about it. And he's like, got you present.
That's why the bad guys never win, because they don't appreciate their gifts.
They can't say thank you.
They can't say thank you. They can't appreciate a small gesture.
Oh my god. And so they just randomly start picking up people, and then you have everybody like landing on Tatooine.
Mhm.
And then you have Luke
Again.
with like his little blue carton.
And then
Milk.
with the blue milk mustache.
I know. And then you see like 3 Obi-Wans.
Hello there.
there.
Hello there. Hello there.
And
That was
then
epic.
that was
Two Han
great.
Solos.
The two Han
Shooting
Solos.
first.
No, it's just
Wanna
it
shoot
was
first?
go ahead, and then they both shoot first. That was
Super meta.
that was a great moment for me.
It was good. It was good. It was fun.
That's a
No,
great
I like
movie.
I like that Darth Maul was there, like in the fight,
Without his
but
legs.
only half of him, without the robot legs.
And he's still impressively twirling around
Yeah.
anyway. Just like, I don't have my legs, but it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
I
Darth
can still
Maul is
spin
awesome.
around.
So
I do wonder how Palpatine was surprised by the gateway that, and this is getting technical, right? But he already knew about the world between worlds because he saw it in Rebels.
Yeah.
So sorry, Nani. So why wouldn't he like be like, oh, the world here is it's again another portal?
I don't know.
Well, I
That
mean,
confused me.
but maybe it's just
It hasn't happened yet.
it's not that uncommon to open portals.
Every time like Palpatine's like having dinner, just the portal opens. He's like, "Damn it, another one I can't get through."
I can't get it, it happened again. I don't know.
It's in.
Because like I think he was really frustrated on Rebels that that portal was closed. Like pissed.
That's a awesome episode, Nani. When you get to it, reminds me
I
to
I
explode.
will get there. I will get there.
Oh,
But
We'll
no,
get
I
there.
think it was awesome that the whole episode too, like Palpatine is so frustrated with the whole situation. Like when he's just like, let's go forward like 30 years and see me ruling the galaxy for all the time. And then you
they're
get
like, "Ooh."
Kylo Ren shirtless, by the way.
Yes, impressively
Swole,
so.
swole,
Swolo.
Kylo Ren.
Ben
Swallow.
Swallow.
Ben Swallow.
Guy
Oh my
lifts.
god.
He works out. He works out.
Hey,
He looks so
it's a Marine.
ridiculous.
Marine.
He's a Marine. Yes.
Oh my god. And then and
Supreme leader, is that better than emperor? It
as
doesn't
they
sound
hide in
better.
the closet, like him and Darth Vader just stuck in a closet, like, what did he say? And then Kylo Ren's like, Grandpa, oh my god, it's so good to see you. And he's like, Grandpa, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Well, time
And
continues.
yeah,
Grandfather paradox.
and then obviously the whole, I should probably replace Vader. Do you have a helmet? Yes, but I broke it. And then he fixes it, and that's when you get like the red lines of the
The red
helmet.
line.
And as soon as he puts it on, Darth Vader's like, that's original.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that the whole time they're just trying, like Palpatine's trying to supplant Vader with Kylo to his face, and
To his
Vader's just
face.
like I'm right here. It's like,
Yeah,
what
it's
the
like,
fuck?
I heard that. No, and when they first tell the story and Palpatine summarizes it, it's like, so he betrays me and throws me down a shaft and I die. And Darth Vader's in the background, like, I didn't do that.
I haven't done it
I
yet.
haven't done it yet.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh my god, it's the time police coming for me.
oh my god.
Time heist. The Avengers are coming.
Although,
Synergy.
Synergy, all of the properties.
Yes.
what was that? Kind of reminded of that movie with Tom Cruise. That there's like three people that kind of like tell the future. Minority Report.
Yeah,
Oh, great movie. I love
Yeah.
this.
I love it too.
This is gonna come. Well, that could be like a thing. Probably could have like going
It's
to the
one of those-
future.
One of those few time travel. It's not really a time travel movie, but time movies that actually make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, and along with, and it's because they use the same concept, just exaggerated. X-Men, not First Class, the other one.
Days of Future
Days of
Past.
Future
Days of
Past.
Future Past.
Best X-Men movie after X2.
Yeah.
And then they ruined it with.
And then they ruined it with
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
With Apocalypse.
Chitong.
And then when you think they couldn't ruin it even more, then they go and do.
Then
Dark
they go and they
Phoenix.
do Dark Phoenix. That makes me cry how bad it is.
And then it's like, oh, wow.
You have
It's
killed everything you achieved with
It's like
First Class
you,
and Days of Future Class.
thank
Days
you
of
for
Future
giving
Past.
it back
Yeah.
to Disney.
Mhm.
Give it back to Disney because you guys clearly don't know what you're doing anymore.
Yep.
was-
I love it. It's like Disney's like, you can't handle a kid. Let me just take it back.
It's like if you can't play with your toys, I have to have a monopoly. It's-
It's like
So bad.
You're forcing
tried.
me. You're forcing me
Exactly.
to be one.
you're forcing me to own everything. Oh yeah, poor Disney. I feel so bad. No, I read the other day that like they had like a earnings report and they had like a multi-million or billion-dollar losses this year because of COVID.
COVID.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe you should have saved for a rainy day. And it's like, isn't that what you tell your employees when you don't raise their salaries or you fire them to save for a rainy day? Well, you have billions of dollars you could have prepared. So sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Not sorry.
Just
Anyway.
keep making the Mandalorian though.
Yeah, just keep making the Mandalorian. Yeah. So anyway, so we eventually get, Rey ends up with youngest Luke Skywalker, and Yoda appears to her and tells her that she has the power all along, blah blah blah. She opens the portal by herself, and then I actually really like her reaction when she sees Kylo Ren, because at this point he's dead to her. So
Mhm.
she's like, Ben? And he's like,
Yes.
Kylo Ren, who are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And
Yes, that was a good detail. Yeah.
yeah, so it was like a nice little nod there because, you know,
I think that's, and maybe this is me
mhm.
reaching, but I think maybe with that scene and the whole, concept of the world between worlds within the holiday special might be a way of Lucasfilm being like, okay, let's bring back Ben Solo
I
and
would
down the
not be
line.
against that. Would
Well,
not be
well,
against that.
it will be the same scenario, kind of. Well, and none of this spoilers, but it will be the same
Spoilers.
scenario as kind
That's
of
Ahsoka.
how
Yeah.
Ahsoka came back.
Yeah. And I think it would work without destroying the space time continuum.
It does because it's not like Kanan
Yeah.
where it's
It would have changed the events of everything. Yeah.
taking that person out will change the events. I'm sure you can grab Ben Solo before falls down the
Before that.
pit. Yeah.
Well, no, because then it's the grandfather paradox there. Because if you do that, if then he doesn't revive Ray,
Ray, yeah.
and if Ray's not revived, then she can't.
Beat Palpatine and
Damn it!
yeah. There has to be a way to do it. Think about it. Marvel has done it with the Avengers. They managed to sneak Loki out, and Loki's coming back. So
Dave Filoni needs to figure out a way.
Well. I mean, technically, they could reverse whatever Poppy did. That was like taking away the life force from both of them before, so they could probably come up with a thing where they reverse that process and then they take Poppy's energy back.
and give
Ergo, Kylo or Ray will have double force energy, then balancing each other out.
Diet to the power of 2.
Diet squared.
Exactly.
Whoa. Could
Well,
happen.
I
Filoni,
think-
take note.
Filoni, take notes.
Exactly,
Anyway,
because he listens religiously to the show. Everyone should know that.
That is something
That's a
other
fact.
people
That is
do
a
not
fact.
know. That is a fact. Filoni listens
So
religiously
this
to
is-
the show.
this is how he gets his ideas for Mandalorian. John
right.
Favreau
Uh-huh.
and Dave Filoni listen. So everyone, get on the train. Get on the Filoni train and listen to our podcast.
Anyway, going back to the Christmas special, holiday special, sorry. So I think it's kind of hilarious that Palpatine is like super surprised he keeps getting betrayed, but his plan the entire time is for, Luke to defeat Darth Vader
Yeah.
so Luke can become his apprentice. So why is he so surprised that other people are trying to betray him?
Do the same
Like-
thing to him. Yeah.
It's
It's
just like this level of arrogance
Yeah.
that Palpatine has that even in the Lego movie
Yeah.
it shows through.
But and the Lego movie stole something from Robot Chicken. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys have seen Robot Chicken.
I
But,
haven't in years, but
There is one. I mean, I always have loved like Palpatine and Robot Chicken. He's one of the best characters in that show because he's just so outrageously funny. But you know how there was a Sheaf Redemption in the holiday special when Palpy was falling down the shaft and he
Yeah.
decided to become
Yeah.
a good guy.
Yeah.
They stole that.
that was
Robot
from
Chicken did it first. Robot Chicken did that skit already.
That is true.
Granted, I think it was funnier, Robot Chicken, but that's because Robot Chicken is closer to my sensibilities. But
Yeah, I need to watch it. I haven't seen
And-
that
and-
episode. I don't think.
it was done almost exactly the same way as Robot
Okay.
Chicken.
I didn't notice, but good
Watch it
catch.
after this.
Yeah.
Watch it.
It was so
Maybe
funny.
Maybe one day when we figure out like our video editing capabilities, we can have a picture in picture and we.
Oh,
can
and do
put
like the images
Yeah,
like
just
they
to
do in
watch it
another one.
together.
Yeah,
but we're not there yet.
we're not
maybe
there
season-
yet.
Season 2,
Season 2,
maybe.
2021.
Maybe.
But it was still funny because he's just like looking at the bug and like, this is actually pretty thoughtful. Why am I so mean? It's like, oh, it's a new day. No more dark Palpatine. It's like, dude. So if it would be canon, would it have been then like an older version of Palpatine that they brought back to life?
This is why I think
This
it's
one, like,
canon-ish.
Yeah, because this one found enlightenment. So
Yeah, I don't. That's why it's canon-ish. I think the broad strokes might have
Mm-hmm.
happened. Like Ray did observe
Mm-hmm.
the past, but maybe like she didn't actually like intervene the
Intervene.
way she did in the movie, but she actually did go see those scenes. So like it's murky. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they said anything. Anyone from Lucasfilm like the canonicity, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak,
And it's
Mm-hmm.
of the episode. But I don't know. I wouldn't take that as gospel that Palpy
Okay.
was
Yeah.
redeemed,
Yeah.
because then it's just like, wait,
Yeah, that makes no
everything
sense.
else
He
doesn't make
comes
sense
back
then.
and is like a super bad guy again.
Exactly.
Like even more, I think.
technically, you could be redeemed and come back as the ultimate evil if you understand that it is only by employing that role that you can lead other people to enlightenment. Then maybe, just maybe,
So it would be a cynical evil
it will.
or hypocritical. Sorry.
No, but it will be kind of closer to, and let's throw it away out there, kind of like how uh, Judas portrayed himself in the agnostic gospels. You,
Gospel of Judas.
he was never a evil person because a not only that the person like this like he knew what had to be done, but it was asked of him to do that so that other people could have the figure to follow. So it is a possibility to have, and it ties into Joseph Campbell. Like there's the sublimity that there's the hero's journey, but there's also the sublimeness of the monster of the
Mm-hmm.
evilness, and
But
that
but is that the same as what you just described of like doing the evil deed because it will pave way for the ultimate good?
yeah, that's kind of like so like Campbell has this like story. uh I mean, takes it from, I really don't remember what African tribe, but it's like this person that just walks one way with a hat that's like blue on one side and red on the other,
Mm-hmm.
and then just walks past this village so that people start fighting. Oh, the person that came by has a blue hat, and the other side will say, no, the person that came by has a red hat. So they actually ended up fighting, and they go to the tribe, the king's leader, and they're like, well, both of you are wrong. It's almost like at the point of civil war, and then this person just shows up. Yeah, it was just me. I was just messing around. I just wanted to make people aware that there are different perceptions, and it was kind of
Joker,
like that moment. Yeah, it's just a Joker, but it's an
or
enlightened Joker.
the story from that Alfred says in The Dark Knight with the jewel thief. He
Yeah.
just like throws it out. Some men
Mm-hmm.
just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow, I don't think that's Palpy though. Palpy seems to be
It's,
a little too calculating and selfish for that.
mm-hmm.
Fact. I agree with that. I'm just saying there's a possibility.
I like Palpy, but I think he's very one-dimensional in that sense.
that is Poppy's flaw.
He's very.
Way
As
too
we
one-dimensional.
discussed in episode 10, Master of Puppets. If you haven't,
Yep.
go check it out.
Go check it out. which is I might be a good segue to, like, this, like, I don't know how many episodes we've done, but I think
12.
well,
This
but
is 12, yeah.
plus
this
Plus the
12
Mando.
plus the Mandos. So what? Well, I think it's a good time to also kind of like Life Day be grateful and thankful
16.
for. There you go. I've never thought I was gonna
Math.
get
Math.
that 16 episode.
I didn't think we were gonna get it going at all. Like honestly, when I first got the text, I feel like we're the kind of people that say we're gonna do stuff but never actually end up doing it. So I was like, awesome for the invite and stuff, but is this actually gonna happen? And I think we're doing pretty well for being complete newbies. We have a great IT department that is my husband.
Yes. Who keeps improving soon, and everyone should keep an eye out because I think we're gonna open our store soon, so you can catch our exclusive Husbando t-shirts over there.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's been a long time coming in a way because Mo and I have had talked about this for probably years.
This Orlando celebration.
But to be honest,
Probably.
I was kind of like Manny. I'm like, we're the kind of people we just talk about this.
I mean, I had no doubt in my mind that we would start. For me, the big issue was like, can we
Continuing.
continue? Can we keep it? Can we keep it up in an organized fashion? So like I've been actually very thankful and very pleasantly surprised by like not only you guys for coming along on this journey, the three of us, and having our heroes journey together, uh, but also like kind of reaping what success we've had. I think we've had some way bigger outreach, even though it's small still,
Yeah.
but like more so than I thought we would at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to obviously thank everybody that is listening or watching or
Mm-hmm.
supporting us in any way. To, we appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
This was a dream, a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly thought even if we kept it going, we'd only have like 5 people listening, maybe.
The
And
three
all
of
like
us, the three
At
of
the
us,
top, the three of
Osbando,
us,
Osbando and like
Osbando,
somebody's
and,
dad.
and maybe
and your brother.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
just one of our
Actually, no,
siblings.
Waco was never gonna listen.
Yeah.
He's too busy.
Yeah. So I think we have to thank the people that have helped us along too. Like Radio Rebellion invited us to come on with him.
Our first gig. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very early on. He was just like, I love having new people and you're Puerto Ricans too. And we need like more Latins out there talking about Star Wars. So that was really cool. Who's reached out to Ty Black because he's a huge fan. And then Ty came and spent almost an entire day talking to us. And
7 or 8 hours.
Like 7 or 8 hours. We were
which
just,
was ridiculous,
so
but we
fun.
didn't
so
even
much fun.
we couldn't even shut up. It was just like topics on topics.
It was such a good experience because like
Mhm.
I obviously this was specifically with Ty, right? Like it was someone that I've seen on the YouTube sphere, and someone that it's weird because when you see someone like
Mhm.
through a screen, there's a disconnect that you kind of like
Mhm.
detach them from humanity in a way, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
and like kind of makes them seem kind of inaccessible somehow. So like to have like someone that you like the media they put out, and like be able to reach out to them and then have like a really cool interaction was a one eye opening, because it's like, oh, then there's more people that you can reach out that you admire and like be able to talk to
Mhm.
them and like learn directly from them, but
Mhm.
also the fact that like like if anyone can just be a part of something.
Yeah, if
And
you're
you can
passionate
share
about
with
something, you
yeah.
can share, and people will respond if
Yeah.
if you are passionate about it. So she was very helpful. I mean, not only did we talk about Star Wars and a bunch of other themes, but she actually gave us advice, on the podcast and
Yes.
how these things work and everything, because we have no idea.
Mhm.
So far, we have been lucky that we have not encountered the Phantom Menace. So
Ish. We did have
Ish.
like a
a
minor
blip.
brush.
Yeah.
We had like a
Minor
like
rush.
a
Like
brush.
a boop, like a
Yes, it's like a gravitational pull, and then it pulled them away again. But we've been safe,
Mhm.
from them.
I think like both actually we've been guest in one, and then we've had two guests.
Yeah.
And I think they've all like gave us like a little bit of like definition of who we are and what we want to portray.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
with Alberto and Radio Rebellion, it was like, we're Puerto Ricans, we're Latinos, let's embrace that.
Mhm.
With Ty, it was like, what, if we want to get super philosophical and super
Mhm.
weird into the symbols and myth, that's
Yeah,
okay. And
we
then
can do that too.
we
Mhm.
can do that too. And then with Brian from Pink Milk, it was like,
Mhm.
you can also be open and emotional and
Yeah.
Mhm.
be aware of how the myth affects us on a
Mhm.
personal basis.
Mm.
So it's almost like each one of those interactions have made us better and made us grow.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm thankful for all of them.
Yeah, and especially with Brian, we got a lot more of that parental perspective because none of us
Yeah.
has kids or anything. And after that conversation, like I start seeing Mando in a completely different
Yep.
way too, and I see a lot of the themes in Star Wars, like all these like the found family and all that stuff, which
Mhm.
I I knew it was there, but it hadn't been pointed out
Yeah,
explicitly to
yeah.
me, I guess. And
Yeah.
now it's just so much more there. And then obviously we've had the chance to, me and Goose have already been on Kiki Waffle. You, Goose, are going to be on Kiki Waffle too. So every time it's like some of the same people, but other new people. And it's always great to have, you know, new perspectives on, because Mando is basically the only new thing in Star Wars right now, except for,
Yeah.
you know, the holiday special. But Mando is the one consistent that most people have agreed that it's awesome.
Yes,
Some people might
it
have its
definitely
certain
brings
issues with
everybody
it,
together.
but most people enjoy Mando a lot. So it's good to be alive during the Mando era. Just saying.
Yeah, it's very, very, very good because like you said, like it's something that on the whole, like everyone is coming together to appreciate. Obviously, someone out there doesn't like it, but
Yeah.
overall, people are a big fans of it. So it's like really nice to be like in that time, period of time during Star Wars where the media that's out there is actually bringing people together. Because oh my god, Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi were
Very
weird,
divisive.
really weird times to be
Mhm.
in fandom because people are so opinionated and rightfully so, but like sometimes like hostile, like in their not necessarily their opinions, but like how they express their opinions that
Mhm.
kind of makes fandom stressful. And like we thankfully started our little podcast now, like in a very on a very well one with positive intentions, but two in a positive time to
Mhm.
kind of develop and grow. So it's been definitely a very happy experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully, it just keeps
Plus,
growing
Mhm.
exponentially.
yeah. Plus, honestly, I think 20. I mean, I hate to see the silver linings and stiff stuff, but
Because it's
2020,
mhm.
we were all during the pandemic. I hope all our listeners stay safe. We're still wear
Yes,
masks.
wear your mask, guys.
COVID has not gone anywhere, but being at home, and I think it gave us that chance to reevaluate and come back to that. Like, you know
Mhm.
what? Let's just give this a shot. Like,
Yeah.
and I think we weren't the only ones from what I've like from other podcasts. Like
Mhm.
2020 has been like that defining
The
year of
year of
like
podcast.
the year of podcasts. Everybody's at home. Everybody's like
Yeah.
kind of slightly like, what am I gonna do next? Am I like so? I think I'm also mostly thankful to both of you. Uh,
Aw.
in a way, this few episodes have made me grow, have made me see things in a different light, and I wouldn't. It took me 16 episodes or whatever to say that Rise of Skywalker is not that bad. Now that I understand like the difference,
It's not
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
not that
Mhm.
bad. I'm still not
No,
gonna,
Yeah.
but
it's still
but
bad.
but
But
it's not
now
that
we've
bad.
seen, and especially thanks to Brian from Pig Milk, I think we've seen that there are certain points in Rise
Yeah,
that
that are
elevated a little bit more than at the level that we had it.
yes.
But
well, I
all in all, I think it's still you know
Oh,
well,
it's
I
still.
think I think I think the bigger takeaway, at least for me, and it's like the attitude that I always wanted to approach the podcast with. It's like even though I may have like
hmm
a strong opinion negatively towards one piece of
hmm
the franchise or the films or the shows or whatever that like I don't agree with, like I try to make it a point to at least be one, respect that other people might like it, and two, like enjoy that other people like it. Because I mean, one, I don't want them to not to take a dump on me when I enjoy something they don't. That's
yeah
also like this whole thing that we've been discovering through like our interactions and our guesting and having guests. It's like your experience is that much more valuable when you can see the thing that someone enjoys about something that you don't
hmm
necessarily enjoy, and
yeah
it just like makes it better for everybody.
hmm
Yeah,
And it's just like
it's
why fill the world with like negativity and hostileness when you can just be positive and constructive.
yeah
which
Makes
is
us grow.
what yeah. And I think that's one thing at least we've always promoted, or we've been conscious and mindful of, and hopefully it's something we never drift into the fandom menace, but
The dark side.
the dark side. But I think that's why we have a triad. We have three people that we can balance everything out,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that's the beauty of it. You're not. heck, I will never expect someone to agree with me and everything, because that would just be boring. Right?
Yes.
That would just be
Yes.
extremely exhausting as well.
And you
Right?
never learn anything new.
Yeah, you never
If
expose
everybody
yourself.
agrees, you don't learn anything.
Right. And that's the space we're contributing to. Like, if we can just be ourselves and
Hmm.
just have fun along with it and be positive and just show others that there's a beauty in learning about the other side. There's a
Mhm.
beauty about understanding, like, wait, I've never saw that, but then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I appreciate why you see it that way.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean at all it's gonna change how I still consume the media, or
Hmm.
Yes,
but it
exactly.
but it gives you an extra layer of
Hmm.
appreciation, gives
Yeah.
you an extra layer of, wow, I've never seen it that way. Like, the more you grow. And I think that's something that we touched a little bit on. I think the episode on political intrigues was
Mm.
also kind of like
Hmm.
changing in a way for our podcast.
If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it
Make sure to check it out.
Self promotion.
Self
Yay.
promotion.
Always, always.
Always. but it was that moment where we were like, you know what? It's okay to express
Hmm.
what we believe, and as long as we also provide the space for what we don't believe in to be shared, to be learned,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
who knows? Maybe there's something we haven't seen or
Hmm.
considered that would change our mind, and vice versa. So, yeah, I think I really appreciate this whole dynamic we've got going on, and thank you for our listeners to sticking by.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully they keep going with us on this journey of self-discovery
Yes.
through
And
Star Wars.
reach out. Yes, send questions, send
Every time
comments. We
someone says reach out, I just think of Depeche Mode, reach out and touch face.
Oh my God.
Every time
Every
someone
time.
says that, it's just in the back of my mind, reach out and touch face. Yeah.
It never
Oh,
fails.
never, never, never.
Yeah.
Or when
But
someone says, tell me why, Backstreet Boys, immediately.
wow.
Always. Yes, always.
always.
That is awesome. I can just imagine you
No, it's not, because if you're in a
listening
meeting,
to this
you're in a
song.
meeting and like your boss is presenting something. It's like, tell me why. And then in the back of your mind, ain't nothing but. It's like, no, it doesn't. It's then you're just there like,
I can't believe you just started kind of singing
holding
it.
back. Of course. Why not? It's Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Oh my God. So yeah, so I mean, I've always been closer to Goose than to you, Mo. I didn't really meet you till, Orlando Celebration. And, Mo used to, if the Goose used to come over, to hang out all the time on the weekends when he lived in Puerto Rico. And we would talk Star Wars like all the time. So
and other things.
I,
And other things.
and other
Yeah.
things, but
Karaoke, music, Bowie.
Bowie hurts
Bowie.
still. Anyway, I know. But Mo, I hadn't known you that well, so obviously I've gotten to really, really know you throughout doing this, and I'm so happy that you shared your journey with us, especially on the episode with Brian on Pink Milk that I had no idea. So I think that will be, yeah, check it out, self promotion. No, but I think that story is gonna help a lot of people who are confused about themselves. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's really brave to share that with the general audience. So I thank you for that. And obviously, I thank you guys for inviting me. I know one of the main reasons for inviting me is that I'm a girl, but
I mean, I think that's valuable. Don't say it as a put down. I mean, I think
I know
it was important so that we could have like not
a
just like three
feminine
different
voice.
opinions, but
Yeah.
like three wildly different opinions in the sense
Yep.
of like we're coming at it from three
Mhm.
different point of views just because we're three different people, but also
Mhm.
three different worldviews because we're having different experiences. I think that
Yep.
was the crux, right? So
Yeah,
it's not
and
it's
different
not a put
journeys
down.
and different perspectives. No, I know, but I thought it was really funny the first time. Like I got the message like, well, why don't you do this with my brother? So,
because
because
well, he's part of it. He's part of
yeah.
it somehow.
Somehow.
But I thought I think it's great, and I think
prefer you over your brother. Don't tell your brother.
you kind of said it right now. So
Yeah, but he
Yes.
doesn't listen, so he's
But he
never gonna
doesn't
find
listen to
out.
this, so it doesn't matter.
I know he doesn't listen. I know. Last time I say he hadn't caught up with the episodes. I know.
yeah. Bad. Bad.
It's okay.
Oh my god. So do you guys want to say anything else? Do you want to keep this short today
I think we're gonna keep it short today. I think
or
we're gonna do like one other little nugget of information. It's just like tell everybody we're gonna have another guest for next week. It's gonna be Maggie Lovett from oh my god, it's talking Star Wars. Sorry, and she also collaborates with Geeky Waffle on
Mhm.
those Mando Saturday reaction nights that we've been a part of. So stay tuned for that. Should be a fun conversation. And besides that, we're really looking forward to next Friday because it's probably most likely, it's not a goose guarantee, but most likely going to be the Ahsoka episode. So very, very excited.
Yeah, and regardless of it is or isn't Ahsoka, it's still directed by Filoni.
So it's going
So
to be good.
no
for
matter
sure.
what happens, I think we're in for a treat. And
Yes.
I think it's gonna be really, really good. So just for all our friends, thank you for listening. And I think Thanksgiving, it's COVID. Try please to be safe. Don't go to huge parties. If you are around a lot of people, social distancing, wear a mask. There's Zoom, like, you can still talk to people and stay at home. And, for our international friends who don't know what Thanksgiving is, then you don't have to worry.
But still wear your mask.
Still wear your mask.
Wear your masks. Be safe. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
So happy Thanksgiving or happy Life Day or happy whatever it is
Life
that you
Day.
guys like to
Happy Life
celebrate.
Day. I like
It's
that
always
name, Life Day.
yeah, Life Day was good. It was
Yeah, it's a
cute
good-
and and I think it's Yoda. I don't remember who explains what Life Day is about, that it's about friendship and family and sharing and all these things. So I think it was a really cute sentiment and Ray got to, share with her family as well because you have actually the ghost of Luke and Leia at the end that, we kind of got to appreciate by talking to Brian about, that's her found family and her adopted family. So I think it was a nice little touch there at the end too. And that she got to interact with all these different versions of Luke, not just as her master, but as, this young guy who was lost. Because he was so confused that the young version of him was like, I'm just a moisture farmer.
It's
What's
like,
happening?
Yeah.
So
This is
so all
good.
in all, I think it was really cute and, I don't know, thankful.
Yeah, it's definitely a pick me up, a little something to make everybody
something,
feel
yeah.
a little happy during the holidays.
Yeah.
A little light at the end of the tunnel for
Yeah.
a very hard year for a lot of
Yeah,
us.
it has definitely been a year. But
Yes.
I'm glad I have you guys more in my life now and everything. So there's always a positive.
Yes.
And we are going to keep going. And this
Conquer
is
the
going
world.
to be great.
Well,
listen, we were
at least feature Star Wars podcast on Celebration.
yeah.
We don't have to
What were
conquer
we
the
talking
world.
about? Like merging all these people that we've met and make this like giant
A mega
mega podcast.
Mega podcast.
Yeah. So
Hey,
So
Power Rangers
thank you
did it
for-
first, so
Wow, Power Rangers. So for everybody out there listening to us, thank you again for being a part of our little circle here. Like, subscribe, comment. We want to know what you
Yes.
guys are thinking, and look forward to next week with Maggie and talking about the next chapter of The Mandalorian, because I think
Yep.
it's gonna be an intense one.
It's gonna be good.
And it's
Happy.
right after Thanksgiving. It's gonna be like, have to watch Mando.
Oh yeah. It's
Yep.
gonna-
So-
yeah. Please.
Well, thanks to you guys.
Yes. Happy
I love
holidays
you.
Happy
to
Life
everybody.
Day.
Take
Happy
care.
Life Day.
Yes.
May the force be with you.